is called permutations with identical objects. And here they're like geese, they're numbering the E's to show you that there's 6 different ways. And they have the formula right here. If you have identical objects in it, you have to divide all those permutations out. So you imagine them different, like Bobby, when we spelled Bobby with a big B, a little b, and a little fancy b. Imagine them different, and then see how many ways you could arrange those items so that they're exactly the same. Now, identical objects, one of the most famous way of coming up with an identical object is with a word. They have a word where the letters are repeated. If the letters are repeated, then you have identical S's, identical I's, and identical P's. You'd have to divide that out. The normal amount of permutations of 11 objects would be 11 factorial, but we divide out the identical objects to find the total. So when we go to example 1, you now have to read a question. And this is where this unit starts to get more complicated. The more things we add, the more you have to think about a question. Our first questions were super easy because I gave you one strategy, and I was like, here's a question. I wonder what strategy you should use. You have one strategy. Which one should you use? The one strategy. And now we're going to start developing multiple strategies, which means that even the easy questions get harder because you have more choices to think about. There are 7 boxes of cereal on a shelf. 5 boxes are bran cereal, 1 box is puffed wheat, and the other box is granola. Are those bran cereals identical? We're going to assume that they are. Okay? Sometimes the question will be even more explicit and say 5 boxes of identical bran cereal, 1 box of puffed wheat, and other box is granola. How could we represent this question? Well, I could represent the bran boxes with B's, the puffed wheat with a P, and the granola with a G. And you realize this is just like rearranging the letters of Mississippi. But instead of the word Mississippi, we have that is our word. So someone says, how many ways can you rearrange the letters of Then you would say, well, normally that would be 7 factorial. But I have identical objects of 5 bran, which would be 5 factorial. And this you should be able to do mental math in your head to get an answer. Right? How do you do factorial mental math? Expand the bigger one. You see that you would get 7 times 6 until you get to the 5, and you're like, oh, that would cancel out with the 5 on the bottom. And we would get 42 in total. Let's circle questions 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the identical objects don't have to be words, but they can be something that you could be like, oh, I see that they're identical, and I make it like the word to figure it out. Oh, we're